What up, this is Rama Screen covering movies, TV, and entertainment, and here's my review of Netflix's new documentary series, Crime Scene, the Times Square Killer. Hey, before you watch my review, please subscribe to my channel, press that like button, and ring that bell so you can get notified whenever I post new videos. And if you'd like to help support this channel, please do so at patreon.com/ramascreen. That's patreon.com/ramascreen. Let's rock this. Yes, another crime documentary series from director-producer Joe Berlinger, who earlier this year gave you Season 1, aka Crime Scene, The Vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. This time we go to New York City, and this time we go way back to the disco 70s era, when the crime rate was so dangerously high they nicknamed New York, I kid you not, Fear City. If you hadn't noticed by now, this entire series is about either a murder or a mystery or a mix of both, but it's always in the context of the location or the environment surrounding that murder mystery. So while this season 2 focuses on a serial killer, the torso killer, it also examines how exactly did Times Square play a part in essentially giving the torso killer the permission to prey on the weak. And trust me, you are gonna want to shower afterwards, because some of the stuff that you'll be seeing on this docu is nasty. Crime Scene, the Times Square Killer is disturbing, it's gruesome, it's scary, and it will shake you to your core. Directed and executive produced by Oscar-nominated and Emmy-winning filmmaker Joe Berlinger, Season 2, or Crime Scene, the Times Square Killer, begins as firemen respond to a call at a seedy hotel in the middle of Times Square in December 1979. What they discover among the smoke and ash shocks even the most seasoned NYC homicide detectives, triggering a hunt for a vicious serial killer who preyed upon sex workers operating within Times Square's then booming anything-goes sex industry. The three-part series takes viewers deep into the investigation, detailing the social and systemic forces at play in a near-lawless area in the center of Manhattan that allowed multiple horrific crimes to go unnoticed for too long. A wide range of subjects are profiled to bring the era to life, from Times Square denizens to beat cops to the daughter of New York's self-proclaimed porno king, with exclusive access to Jennifer Weiss, the daughter of one of the victims. The series also underscores her efforts to identify others who remain Jane Does, lost to an infamous long-gone time and place. Just like Season 1, Season 2's format and style are basically the same. The docu opens with the most horrendous, most graphic, most heinous, most horrific murder you can possibly imagine. Right off the bat, it just hits you in the face with it, and it'll stay with you for days on end. And then it follows the progression of the investigation, and in between that, it would inform you of what it was like to be at Times Square in the 1970s. For those who are old enough to remember and actually came from that specific East Coast region, this Season 2 must feel like going down a not-so-pleasant memory lane. But to the rest of us, it's like learning a history lesson that your teachers never tell you about. But here's the larger themes at play. Yeah, on one hand, seeing Times Square's sexual anarchy and Wild Wild West deviancy might trigger your conservative side that would quickly judge it to hell. On the other hand, it also brings up significant issues regarding sex workers and women's rights and the unfair stigma associated with the sex industry. The docu is basically saying, hey, if you go draconian, it's the vulnerable that get punished. But at the same time, if there are no regulations enforced, then things would go badly out of hand. Predators view women's worth or women's value as nothing more than some over-the-counter item on the shelf, and that mentality is exacerbated by this petri dish called Times Square that brings out the worst in people. Unlike Season 1, Season 2 only has a total of 3 episodes. The amount of old archival footage gathered is unbelievable. The reenactments are also haunting and chilling. They really go to incredible lengths when detailing the rise and fall of Times Square's pornography. It's jaw-dropping. I'm still having difficulties wrapping my head around what that place was back then. As for the investigation, it really points out how simple and primitive the methods were. It really gives you a newfound admiration for the detectives who at the time did not have today's luxuries and convenience. Last but not least, I've visited New York City about 5 times now. I've got friends who live there, so I'd visit them as often as I could. I even did the whole New Year's ball countdown. It was freezing cold. So NYC, specifically Times Square, has a soft spot in my heart. But let's face it, the place is massively corporatized with product placements and advertisements everywhere. So there are valid criticism that you can make about Times Square's excessive display of capitalism. But I don't think anyone will disagree that today's Times Square is miles better than the porn-infested Times Square of the 1970s. I mean, it's not perfect. I'm sure there are still pickpocketing or muggings all over the place, but they have definitely made it harder for other potential torso killer wannabes to commit evil. And that's a good thing.